dance at the moment. Busting some moves like he's Vincent D'Onofrio. See if we're live. Two, 1, 2. Oh, I've got my bloody headphones on, haven't I? Check. 2, 1, 2. Yeah, we're on. Nice. Okay. Hello everyone, it's Tom. Welcome back to a brand new stream. I hope everyone had a lovely Easter and didn't put on too much weight like I have. Yeah. Apologies if I sound a bit not with it. It's been a very long first week back at uni. Awesome stuff has happened. You know, we've launched our company. We've launched the announcement of our final play. So I am officially a member of the newfound theatre company Unmuted Motion. We're based in North Staffordshire. And we're here. Our debut production is The Shape of Things by Neil LaBute. I'm very excited, very excited to do this play. It's been an amazing ride. A couple of hiccups, but that's part of any creative process, and it's just going to make the production so much better because of it. You know, there is no such thing as a perfect process, and it's how you work through any kind of, you know, curveballs for professionals that make something so much better. Because if there's no issues, quite frankly, you don't care enough about what you're doing. You know, you've got to really relish in that, because otherwise you don't, you know, it's not something you've got. Anyway, I'm going to do a proper post. I'm actually going to make a video announcing the company, because I'd love to get more heat on that, get as much people following the company as possible. So I'm not going to talk about much in this stream. However, there is a lot to talk about in terms of Daredevil Born Again, Spider-Man Brand New Day, well, the Lego sets for Brand New Day, obviously the Avengers Doomsday panel at CinemaCon, and the fact we do not have a trailer yet, which is, you know, it's really pissed me off. I can't lie. I thought the trailer was going to be... I stayed up to watch the new Rockstar's like coverage of the panel, because obviously Eric Voss and Jessica Clemens were at the panel, and they were tweeting live updates from the panel. And I thought a trailer was going to drop. There was a trailer that dropped exclusively in CinemaCon, which sounds insane, but it's just not been released, and it's quite infuriating, because I understand these trailers. I understand the whole point of CinemaCon, like, it makes complete sense, you know, like, I'm not gonna bash it, I get it. However, I just think it's a bit, you know, considering the film is something we're all desperate for, to not have the trailer was a bit of a, you know, it sucked, I can't lie. I'm very upset we don't have the trailer. The descriptions sound insane, but with all due respect, I want to go watch a movie, not just look at some descriptions of a movie. Where, like, I want to see the trailer for the film that I'm desperately excited for. I don't care about, you know, like silly little descriptions. I said they're silly, they're not. They are cool, but at the same time, you've got to bear in mind that these people are all watching the trailer. They're taking different things from it. They got shown it twice, but to do a full breakdown, I'm pretty sure you need more than 2 runs of a trailer. So still, there's a lot that's like anticipated, and I want to see it. So I'm very annoyed that it hasn't been released live yet, because I think it's been a long week, and that was something I was really looking forward to potentially getting, but never mind. Anyway, I kind of realised I'm going backwards. So in chronological order of things, I guess it would be Daredevil Born Again's most recent 2 episodes, because I haven't spoken about episode 4. The Lego Spider-Man sets and the Doomsday stuff. Actually, no. There's a bit more stuff I want to talk about regarding Doomsday that isn't related to the trailer. I do like the fact that we now have confirmation that Doomsday is picking up from where Endgame left off, but also going back to the X-Men. I think that's been a really massive talking point. Like, oh yeah, what X-Men continuity is this? Is this going to be, is this going to be Days of Future Past onwards? Is Days of Future Past even still canon? And we kind of get a bit more clarity. It's like going back to where it started with Kevin Feige with X-Men. So that's really good. We did get the confirmation that Catherine Newton is back as Cassie Lang in Avengers Doomsday, which again I think makes complete sense. She is the daughter of Ant-Man. If anything, this fuels my fire even more that Scott Lang is gonna die, because otherwise, why else would you be bringing back the daughter of Ant-Man if you know that Scott Lang is not gonna die? So yeah, and we got the confirmation of Infinity Vision as well, which basically sounds like it's going to be Marvel's own equivalent to IMAX, which, I mean, I don't really mind it. I don't know why they've done it. I thought IMAX was its own thing. Endgame and Infinity War were two of the first films ever to be filmed on IMAX cameras, or IMAX lenses, so, one of the reasons why those films look so crisp. But the fact they've got their own, they're re-releasing Endgame on Infinity Vision, but also they're releasing Doomsday with it as well. So, it's a bit of an interesting one there. I don't really mind it as such. I think it's cool. I do hope, however, that this is going to make films much more accessible to watch. Because if I'm paying extra, then I find that a bit annoying. I understand if it's a bit extra, but nothing ridiculous. Because again, I'm not minted. I can only watch what I can afford to see, and I'm deliberately not going to see films at the moment, so I can go see the films I want to see. I genuinely think that The Mandalorian and Grogu might be I might not be going to see it straight away, Toy Story 5 I'm going to go see, obviously. I love the Toy Story films. I love The Mandalorian, but I'm so used to watching him on a smaller screen, I'm not desperate to see him in the cinema. Obviously Spider-Man and the Avengers movies I'm going to go see, and plus the re-release of Endgame as well. However, I do think it's a cool gimmick. I'm not sure if it's gonna last. I'm not sure what if Disney have to pay extra to play their films in IMAX. So if they've made their own equivalent and spent more for something that is theirs, then I get it. But at the same time, it really does depend on what their angle with this Infinity Vision is going forward. I can definitely tell that there was a big emphasis on making sure that the Avengers movies were going to be some of the first films that make the most of this this Infinity Vision. Whole Infinity War, Infinity Saga, blah blah blah, and the fact that these characters are returning from the Infinity Saga, such as Thor and Steve. But yeah, I'm a bit I'm very interested to see how things go with this, but I'm also thinking let's not make this too inaccessible for everyone. I want something to be, I want to be able to enjoy it however I can, not just in a set way. I'm going to see it, but if it means having to pay £20 extra to go view it in the Infinity Vision, I don't think I can make that expense. For Endgame, at least I know I'm gonna love it. Doomsday, I'm pretty confident I'm gonna love it, but I'm not gonna know till I see it. And you probably think, well, it's a Marvel movie, you're most likely gonna love it, but still, you know, it's got to be worth the expense to go and see it, or to at least seen this in something before. At least with IMAX, you know it looks good, but we've not seen Infinity Vision yet, so therefore it feels a bit, you know, to go see it in a new lens that has not been made public yet, and also it's hard to really experience it online. You have to go see it in a cinema that supports it, and it's not a guarantee that any cinemas will support it, so it really does depend, you know. So I'm looking forward to it. I like it in concept. I'm not convinced it's going to be a guaranteed success, but hey, it's good. What else was there to talk about regarding Doomsday and CinemaCon before I move on to the Lego sets? I'm clearly going in backwards order. What else was announced? Oh, I'll tell you what was really nice. Seeing Chris Evans and RDJ back together again. That was lovely. That was really, really nice. And it's nice to see that Chris Evans still has that same passion for the MCU as he did when he was a regular in the Infinity Saga. But it's also very interesting because I'm convinced that in the marketing of the film, he was very much referred to as Steve Rogers. You know, in that first teaser from back in December, at the end of last year. It's like, okay, so we know Steve Rogers is back, but now they're starting to call him Captain America as well. I'm like, are we going to see Steve suit up? Because I will admit, I love the fact that Steve can wield Mjolnir in the MCU. I love the fact that he's worthy. You know, he spent years of his journey trying to prove his worth and prove that he was more than just something special that came out of a bottle, as Tony Stark remarked him as in the first Avengers film. I don't want to see Mjolnir be his weapon of choice in Doomsday. I think it was awesome that we saw it in Endgame, but if he's not going to be Captain America, he either needs a new shield with a new name or a new weapon of choice. I mean, hot take here, but I still think Steve is the best hand-to-hand fighter. Yes, Shang-Chi is probably up there. I'd say Shang-Chi is probably in like the top, maybe top 3 best hand-to-hand combatants in the MCU. Daredevil, I'd say is top 5. Or maybe 4. I don't know. That's a conversation for another day. But I still think Steve and Bucky are the 2 best. Oh, no, Steve. Bucky kind of got nerfed a bit. I still love him though. But yeah, it was really nice seeing Steve Rogers and Robert Downey Jr. back together again in the MCU. I think that was lovely. And I'm so excited to see how Steve Rogers plays into this biggest picture, because I do believe in the theory that when Steve returns post Endgame, Steve returned at the end of Endgame as an old man, that he had lived through the events of Avengers Doomsday and Secret Wars, and obviously we've now recently had the confirmation from Chris Evans himself that he's in Avengers Secret Wars, and he's beginning to film those scenes soon. So I think there's a good possibility that because of the fact that Chris Evans is very vocal about his appearance in Secret Wars, that he could be playing a very like principal part. Like my dream lineup for Secret Wars would be the original 6 Avengers, including RDJ as Iron Man, all 3 Spider-Men, Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool and Wolverine, and then Fantastic Four and X-Men. Like basically what we've got now is with a couple of extra faces, and obviously like the new Avengers as well. Yeah, but you know, I'm very excited for this film regardless of the fact we've not had a trailer yet. I think that's because the reason why they've not released a trailer is because they know that already. Like they know we're excited and they know we want to see the trailer, but it's like they're not in a rush to give it to us. They're also like, come on, make us more excited. You know, you can you can start generating a lot of interest already. Because a lot of people are saying, oh yeah, the trailer was insane, and I believe it, but I want to see it for myself, you know? It's like whenever someone says to me, oh yeah, you'd be a big fan of Five Guys. Oh, I don't disbelieve that for a second, but I still want to try it. Yeah, I've never tried Five Guys. But, yeah. So, with that being said, I think moving on from the CinemaCon talk, oh, god damn it, always. I want to talk a bit about the brand new Day Lego sets. Yeah, we got 3 new Lego sets. We got the big Spider-Man buildable figure that's in the same scale as the Iron Man one that came out in January. We've got the Prisoner Transport with Tombstone in, which I think is awesome. Not seen anything of Tombstone yet regarding Brand New Day. It wasn't in the trailer. We've not even seen like any concept art. We've seen some leaked ones, but I personally just think it's AI slop. If it's real, then I'll apologise. But it's nice that we have a DODC transport vehicle, and we have the mini modular Spider-Man versus Hulk set, which looks incredible. I gotta admit, it looks great. I think it's really nice the fact we have. Yes, it's in grey. Yes, grey is a very boring shade. However, I think it's awesome that we have a mini modular in a different colour. Because I've noticed that the mini modulars tend to have this roughly the same colour palettes, and it's a bit annoying, and it's a little bit bland as well. I'm trying to get my charger so I can actually charge my phone whilst I am streaming. Because if you go back to the very first one, the Spider-Man Bodega, it was very vibrant. You know, you had the yellow top, you had the I can't think of the word. Ooh. The red bottom, and then you had the Peter Parker's apartment, which was meant to complete that because it was obviously an open top, so there was no roof. However, for some reason, other than the Oscorp set, they've stuck with the dark red and the beige, or like the light tan. And they're nice colours, but it also looks a bit unrealistic. Like, yes, a lot of buildings are that colour, but as you can see here, like you got like a maroon red here. You've got like another maroon. Right, you've got the colours around here. I just think that, you know, if you keep the same ones, the same colour palettes for these mini modulars, it gets a bit boring when you put them all together. So it's nice that they've got a grey one now, and also the fact you can smash it open and stuff is great. You know. 10-year-old me would have loved that. What am I saying? 22-year-old me still loves that now. But yeah, I think that would be really cool. Also the minifigures as well. They went hard. The Spider-Man minifigure is probably the best one we've ever had for Tom Holland. The only thing that would have topped it up is just a little bit of web printing on the boots. But other than that, you know, it looks amazing. And I can't wait to get it. Plus, you've also got Boomerang and Tarantula. Tarantula does appear in the prisoner chase as well, but he still looks really cool. You've got Scorpion, which looks effing awesome, and then you've got a hot dog vendor, which looks a lot like Haley Cooper from the Spider-Man Miles Morales game. So when I build that set, I'm just going to imagine that it's Haley Cooper, and therefore we have an Insomniac minifigure as well, just because I love those games. Plus, ironically, it has a hearing aid, and Haley Cooper is obviously audibly impaired, so I think that's really cool, really nice, and diversity, not adversity, and inclusion as well. It's just a really nice looking set. I can't lie, I think it looks lovely. It'll look great next to the other sets, the other mini modulars. Hulk looks fantastic. I recently bought the Infinity Saga Epic Moments set with the Hulk and the Iron Man Hulkbuster. So now I finally have a new Big Fig Hulk, since I've not actually had a Hulk Big Fig post Avengers Tower release. So it's nice to have that. But yeah, I think it's so cool to have those sets. Yeah, it's a really cool Big Fig, and it's nice to have another one as well. Cause I'd like to have one on my Marvel logo, because I'm not a fan of the Hulk minifigure on it. But I'd also like to have one, you know, with the Epic Moments set. Actually, I'd like to have one with my Endgame diorama as well, because I've not had an Endgame Hulk yet, but I'd quite like to have one. That'd be really cool. You guys know I love dioramas, so I'm hoping we get some diorama sets for this film as well, because we do have, I believe, one more Epic Moments set to release this year. That'll be quite nice, because by then we'll have 3 mini modulars. No, 3 mini modulars released this year, plus 3 Epic Moments sets this year, plus a vehicle set, which I presume could be the Fantastic Car. As it's rumoured, we're getting another Herbie. We're getting another Fantastic Four set with Herbie this year. So I'm hoping the Fantastic Car comes, and because of the fact it's got quite a hefty price tag, I'm hoping it has a new like Big Fig or like Mid Fig thing, just so we have a bit more, you know. This minifig thing looks nice, but it also looks really, really goofy. Like, I would rather just have that one in like a display set, or like like inside a vehicle, like either a Quinjet or a Blackbird or a Fantastic Car, like, and then have like a nice, like proper big thing out on open in display. You know, that'd be quite nice. Or customize it a bit and leave it an extra torso for you know, some other character. But yeah, or like maybe like use that to make a Franklin Richards minifigure or something. I do kind of hope we get a Human Torch version of Johnny Storm as well, just because I like the Johnny Storm we got. However, I do find them a little bit goofy because of the fact that he has like 2 Power Blast pieces and then like 2 tiny flames coming off his feet. It doesn't really feel like he's flamed on at all. So it'd be nice to get a bigger, like a much more like, you know, clearer flame on Human Torch, because that set's still available, so therefore they could reuse some pieces. But I do hope they improve some of them. Like, I'd say the best minifigure in that set is probably Sue. I just don't think there's anything wrong with her, other than the fact that of course she hasn't got any transparent like limbs, or any of them have dual molded legs, which would be so much better. And it's nice to see that this Spider-Man has dual molded legs. But yeah. Yeah, the buildable Spider-Man figure as well actually does look quite cool. Again, I'm not gonna get it because I don't really collect the buildable figures. The only ones I have is the R2-D2, and I'd love to see 3PO one as well. But the Iron Man one, as amazing as it looks, it's a little bit out my. It's a little bit out of my, you know, like main area of interest. If I had like an extra 200 quid lying around, and there was absolutely nothing else I wanted with it, and yeah, I get it. Oh, Hulk's murdering someone. Whoops. But yeah, I do quite like the Spider-Man one as well. Yeah. Overall, very good wave. It's nice to see new Marvel releases getting sets again, because for the past couple of years we've been a little bit sporadic with them. Like, we got one, other than the Brickheads, we got one set for Brave New World, one set for the Marvels, got no sets for Thunderbolts, no sets for Deadpool and Wolverine, and now we're getting 3 sets for Brand New Day, and I assume a couple for Avengers Doomsday. So it's nice to see the big heavy hitters like your Spider-Man and Avengers films start to take over, and particularly new ones as well, because obviously as much as I adore the Infinity Saga theme, you know, I love the Infinity Saga theme, I've loved it since 2021. It's nice to see some new Avengers stuff, and you know, the fact we didn't get any for Thunderbolts it does mean we have a lot of like new Avengers films to catch up on. It would be nice as well to see some other things, see some like other sets be made. Like I'd love to see. I'm pretty sure that the mini modular for Avengers Doomsday is going to be the Watchtower from Thunderbolts, or Sentry's Watchtower. I was really hoping for a Baxter building, but it doesn't look like that's happening. I assume that the Baxter building will probably happen next year, I believe. I think they'll probably work on that this year. However, what I'm interested in is to whether or not it's going to be the big one, like in the scale of the Avengers Tower and the Daily Bugle, or if it's going to be a mini one, like the new Daily Bugle, the DODC set.
Is it a plane?
Etc. I do kind of hope it is in the scale of the big ones, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's not. I think, I don't want to say this, but I think there's a chance that Lego could be done with Marvel and DC modulars. The fact that the Arkham is retiring this year, and as is the X-Mansion as well. I'm a bit worried that we're done with getting the big DC and Marvel modulars. I really want more. You know, I want the Baxter building. I want the Marvel Comics HQ. For DC, I'd love to see Wayne Manor, or the Hall of Justice. You know, I think that'd be so cool to get. I'd love to see, especially if how well Lego Batman Legacy of the Dark Knight does, which obviously there was a new trailer for that yesterday, and that looks sick. But yeah, I guess we ought to go back to the original characters we were running with for this this stream. Let's talk about Daredevil Born Again. Oh, I don't want Black Bolt and Bullseye. Because I was away when both episodes 4 and 5 released. Well, actually, I wasn't for episode 5, but I was busy, so I wasn't streaming it. Best episodes of the well, some of the best episodes of the season. I thought episode 3 was incredible. With the big one-take fight scene, the prison break at Red Hook. I thought they were incredible. So, you know, but Wilson Bethel's Bullseye is leveled up since season 1 and since Daredevil season 3. And speaking of, the cutbacks to the original show for the first time ever were amazing. I honestly cannot believe the fact that we cut back to the very first episodes of Daredevil from the Netflix era. I'm so blown away by that, and they had the same like video ratio, the same like filming style. It was so good for both this episode and the last one, with the Fogwell's gym flashbacks with Matt in church, and then obviously cutting back to Kingpin and Vanessa meeting for the first time. And obviously we need to talk about the we'll have Bullseye and Kingpin for this because it is technically both of their faults. But the death of Vanessa Fisk, that was harrowing, considering Vanessa is the reason that Foggy is dead, and obviously everyone loves Foggy and everyone hates Vanessa. I was actually surprised I was able to feel emotional for Vanessa. That was a tough watch. That was a really tough watch. I'd never seen so much vulnerability in Vincent D'Onofrio. I loved seeing Wesley and Foggy back. Episode 5 was so emotional. And then the episode before with Gloves Off, the boxing match was incredible. I'm sorry, but Kingpin, if he wanted to, could beat any boxer now in his like late 60s, which I'm pretty sure is the age he is in the MCU. Mike Tyson can move over. Kingpin would put him down. All of the big heavyweight boxers, you know, your Evander Holyfield, your Lennox Lewis, your all of them. They got no smoke on Wilson Fisk. Like, oh, it's so cool. Yeah, I'm really interested to see where Daniel Blake's storyline is going as well. I think there's going to be some kind of reveal, because I'm not convinced that he is just, you know, a supporting role. I think there has got to be some kind of emphasis on who Daniel Blake is, and I'm still convinced that he is the bastard son of Wilson Fisk. I'm not convinced that, you know, I believe that he is the illegitimate son of Kingpin, and that's why we have such an emphasis on him. Because, I mean, obviously, you know, Michael Gandolfini is the son of Tony Soprano's actor James Gandolfini. He can play the part extremely well. You know, I think it's incredible. It's honestly incredible, the work that he does. And I'm convinced that he's being set up for a much greater role in the MCU, and especially the television side of things. But yeah, don't know what I was going to say. And you see, he's dancing away. Yeah. Yeah, the most recent episodes of Born Again have been incredible. Possibly even the best of the season. You know, I'm a little bit concerned that we've left behind other storylines like the Heather Glenn story, especially with Jessica Jones returning as well, and the Defenders. And I'm especially annoyed with a Mr. Mike Colter, who, don't get me wrong, I cannot wait to see him back in Born Again Season 3, but the fact that he's effing spoilt the ending is ridiculous. Like, why would you do that? Why would you, you know, take the picture, go to Instagram, and then press post, knowing that that picture is going to spoil the ending of Season 2? I'm very annoyed, and I'm annoyed that I've even seen it. You know, there were very much, there were so many posts without spoiler tags, so I knew to look away before seeing it. It just popped up right on my feed, and I'm so angry because I now know that somehow a Mr. Matt Murdock is going to end up in prison. So yeah, I'm not happy about that at all. I think that's ridiculous that he posted that. I can't wait to see him back. I loved him as Luke Cage, and it's been a long time. I'm willing to give Iron Fist another shot. You know, different set of writers and all. Willing to give him another go. But that was ridiculous. I can't wait for the Defenders reunion, but that was such a ridiculous thing to do. You know, taking that picture with, you know, because I'm pretty convinced that Luke Cage is going to run for mayor, and it's going to be Luke Cage versus Sheila Rivera. Because I'm sure Kingpin will probably end up being impeached or indicted. That's it. As the mayor, and could end up in prison. I do believe it would probably be quite ridiculous if we don't see the Kingpin in the raft. You know, given his heightened strength. And it's a bit ridiculous that Bullseye didn't end up in the raft either, considering he has enhanced abilities. They should just end up in the raft rather than being in, like, put in Rikers or whatever. But yeah, and Mr. Wilson Bethel, as well as Vincent D'Onofrio. The performances they have brought to these last two episodes have been nothing short of absolutely incredible. Honestly, they've been so riveting with emotion. Yeah, that was ridiculous. I already did that race anyway. Those performances were riveting with emotion and sympathy. They were incredible, honestly. Massive hats off to to the cast of Daredevil Born Again. I do hope we get to see some more of the Born Again newcomers, like, you know, Heather Glenn and Cherry. I do like those characters a lot. But yeah, I'm really enjoying what we're getting so far with a lot of the newcomers and the OGs as well. It's such a good show. I adore this show, and I cannot wait to see the next episode on Monday. Yeah, it's going to be excellent. It's going to be absolutely excellent. But yeah, I think that's all I've really got to say, to be honest, on the latest episode of Born Again. Yeah, that's all I really have to say. Oh, the Watcher sighting was very interesting. I think that must mean that Vanessa's death was a Nexus event for the show. Kind of like how in X-Men 97 he appeared during, you know, just before the attack on Genosha. Genosha, you know, the Watcher was visible in the sky. So that little glimpse of the Watcher, with the or that like creation of like the Watcher's presence with the smashing of the glass and the little light strips to create a silhouette of his face. Yeah, that's it, a silhouette of the Watcher. I think that's really cool, and you know, it's probably quite poignant that he's shown up, given what is, you know, potentially going to happen now that Vanessa is dead. Kingpin is going to let loose, and it's going to be brutal to watch. I don't think anyone is safe. In fact, I think the fatality counts will probably start to ramp up this season, just by the hand of Kingpin. You know, I don't think, you know, we saw him murder Gallo last year. I don't think anyone is safe now. I think Daniel Blake is one who I don't think is safe. Cherry, I'm not sure is safe. Unless we get the reveal that Daniel Blake is the son of Kingpin, we won't see him hold back from anyone. And yeah, I think Mr. Charles is probably in danger as well. You know, because if he pushes Fisk's buttons when Fisk is grieving his wife, yeah, he's going to go ballistic. So, you better watch out. And yeah, all in all, amazing last 2 episodes. Cannot wait for episode 6. And hopefully we get a really cool Lithonia needle drop as well, as I'm pretty sure that's going to be coming soon, in this season at least. But yeah, that is going to be it. That's going to be it from me, actually. I'm going to probably wrap things up here, so I can start learning some lines for the shape of things. Well, I say start learning lines. I've learned a couple already, but just be ready to do the play. And yeah, that's going to be it from me. So a massive thank you, and I will see you all soon. Peace out, and bye-bye.